Welcome to Let's Get Creative with Sam, the podcast. I'm Sam Rawlings and I'm a children's creative counsellor. That means I help kids unlock their imaginations and explore the amazing world of creativity. But being creative can also be a great way to take care of our minds and feelings, which is super important. In this podcast, we'll be doing all sorts of fun things. We'll be sharing creative tips and tricks that can help us feel good, interviewing other awesome creative folks in the industry who use creativity for mental well-being, and maybe even doing some creative challenges together that can help us express ourselves. So buckle up, get ready to unleash your creativity and explore how it can help us feel our best, and let's have some fun. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Let's Get Creative with Sam. I'm Sam Rawlings and I'm a children's creative counsellor, and I support children from 6 to 19, and I also ensure that the support is there for parents as well. I'm part of a collaboration of three of us called the Power of Three Events, and we run wellbeing events in Leeds and Wakefield, and I'm so excited for my guest today to talk about, well, let's find out what she's going to talk about. Hello, Rachel. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Sam.
How are you doing today?
Good, yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. We've just had a pre-chat and I kind of sense that you're in a real calm, grounding way, and I'm bouncing about all over the place. So let's see how it goes as the show goes on.
Yeah, I think the full moon energy is starting to take effect, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think when the full moon's around, I get excited, but I think it impacts my energy and I just get even more bouncier. Mm. What comes to mind is Tigger.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you see me disappear, you know where I am. On the ceiling.
I think in our house yesterday there was a bit of Tigger energy going on. Me and my daughter were doing quizzes, and then we had a Wicked watching, but it was like throughout the day we had to space it out because it's quite a long film, but there was lots of lovely messages in it about obviously the differences between people and kind of how your background impacts the person you become. So it was quite a good lead up to today's session, actually. Yeah, it was. I cried about 3 times. Like to cry.
Just listening to you. I think that's part of my energy at the moment. I'm getting a lot of goosebumps. So yeah, there's a message there for me somewhere as well.
Yeah. Have you seen Wicked?
I haven't actually. My intention was when it came out on the cinema to go see it, but that didn't happen for different reasons. And I know that Wicked 2 is coming out quite soon.
Yes.
And I feel I want to watch it because, like, I've seen all the extra stuff, the trailers.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of powerful messages in there, and I feel that it'd be really kind of beneficial for what I take out of it. So whether I have Sam head on or Sam the counsellor head on, I don't think it matters. It's just what feels right for me as well. So yeah,
it would probably be both, actually. It's just the amount of themes and becoming the most authentic version of you, and not rising above people being false, and how people can make heart connections when they see someone at their most vulnerable, and the compassion that we have. And it's very much kind of, I think, the way that we both work. That's what I'm very passionate about is people kind of dropping the layers. And the Elphaba's character goes through this whole journey of being in shame.
Okay.
But presenting kind of this defensive, I'm okay as I am, thank you very much. And that is partially there, but there's also this other stuff that's put on her
Yeah.
from other factors in her life, and it continues throughout the film. And she just, the more kind of pressure she's under, the more she kind of cracks open and just she comes out. It's not like she cracks under the pressure and gets swallowed. It's like, okay, we're going here, are we? All right, then I'm coming out then.
I see.
Yeah, it's like just this whole beautiful unfolding of who she really is. And it's so beautiful. I loved Wizard of Oz as a kid, and Judy Garland and the whole song, and again I really resonate with Judy Garland's life story.
Yeah.
And you then, it's so weird because kind of actually seeing the character of Elphaba is very much like Judy Garland, and I related so much with that when I was a kid, singing over the rainbow, when when you get to there and there's no troubles anymore. And I always wanted that as a child, and I think that's why I've kind of gone into this space in what I deliver and what I want people to find is getting to that point of recognizing they can find their own inner rainbow. It's so funny because when we were talking before, there's like a part on your wall where the light's shining on it, and there's like a little rainbow, and I was really looking at that, and now I know.
Well, I didn't know that. I just see it as do you know what? I can see it now. I've got at my window, I have the brain's not going to work, but I have 3
crystals.
Not mobiles, but what they're called.
Yeah, I've got them too, like the crystal charms that hang down and they put the rings on them.
Yeah. And I've got 3 different ones, and I've noticed, particular since we've come into the more autumn weather, but when because the sun's at a different level as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That when it shines through, I have this glow, and it's so beautiful. It lights up my room. It's that natural light, but it also feels really magical and creative for me as well. So I can relate to that quite a lot. Definitely.
Well, that's what the film is. It's obviously it's the magic, but it's not relying on external things for magic. So it's kind of like, again, you can relate it to, we get so caught up on relating to external sources to bring out our light and to bring out our transformation and that glow. And even at this time of the year, when we can think, we've got to go inward, and we could worry about being isolated from the people we normally socialize in because we maybe don't get out as much this time of year. But it's coming into taking in what we've learned through the year and finding our inner glow with that. And that's again part of what I wanted to create. As it's not just as a business, it's about the communities, because we can find it in others, but we're also trusting that we've got that glow in ourselves, and you cocoon and you come out as the butterfly. And that's what Elphaba does, really, to a kind of way in the film. And we have those eye-opening moments when we go inwards and we kind of look at all of our belief systems and the weights that we carry that aren't ours, because we take it on from our parents, our teachers, and it's about kind of pulling that out, but really embracing those parts of ourselves as well, because they all make us we need to understand those beliefs and the impact they have on us and the effect it has on our confidence.
Yeah.
But not try to get rid of that. We pull it out, but then it's weaving it into ourselves as well. It's making it the tapestry of who we are.
Yeah.
Because if we if we pull those threads out, there would be holes, wouldn't there? There'd be holes in the fabric of the tapestry, wouldn't make sense, and it would look battered and bruised. And I think we kind of tend to have that perception of ourselves. Well, I'm battered, I'm bruised, I've been broken, all this stuff happened in my childhood or in that relationship, and it's left me with these scars, and it means that I'm this deformed.
Yeah.
But
And
we're
you
not.
can't fix me.
Yeah, we're not. If we put that into a tapestry and hung it behind us
Yeah.
for the world to see, if it had holes in it, people would go, oh, what's there? What's missing? What was that about? I can't see the full picture. So we don't need to have pieces missing. We need to just weave it into the beauty of who we are. And it's like the Japanese bowls, isn't it? And they fill it with the gold.
Yeah.
In the cracks. If there was gaps in that tapestry, people wouldn't be able to see all of us and then go, oh, I have that in my fabric too.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see you now, and now I can see me. Oh, wow. Suddenly I'm a rainbow. I'm not a storm cloud anymore. I'm a rainbow. And you have to have a storm to make a rainbow. And how beautiful is that when you look at the sky and you see all those depths and different shades of grey and the rainbow and the sun and the rain. And you go, wow. And we've had all these storms last week, and I've been sat listening to the rain on the window, and it's just like, oh. But we need to learn to appreciate those storms in us and the rains and everything that it brings us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so beautiful. And I love how where it came from for you, from watching Wicked, and also your own childhood with Wizard of Oz. And I love Wizard of Oz. I mean, I was in it last year for the amateur dramatics that I go to, and it felt really different because obviously it's one of my all-time favorites from, I say, when I was quite young, and we always bring in our childhood memories, don't we? But a lot of the time, and I find this a lot of, I mean, I work with children, but the young people, when they go back, what comes out for them is the memories that are really difficult, that are challenged, and they're the things that come out. So they're not remembering those lovely things that happen. The way that happens in some ways is when it's reflected on another person in their life, whether it's bereavement or loss or that those kind of things that they go through. That's when they're able to remember things about themselves because they can connect it to another person, and then it's a beautiful memory, and then you get the smiles and the giggles and the lovely warmness for that person as well. So that gave me what you're talking about then, but I had it for myself as well, more than just connecting to somebody. Do you know what I mean? But connections are so important as well, aren't they, as we know? And for you, it would be lovely to hear a little bit about you, just so the audience know who you are, Rachel. But thank you so much for sharing that to start with. It was just so wonderful.
Yeah. So probably Wizard of Oz is the best place to start with that. So my background, my childhood, had moments of challenges. Both my mum and dad experienced a lot of loss. With you saying that just now about the loss and the impact it has on people, it had a really big impact for them and for me, because they were kind of locked in a box, I guess, of their own pain and their memories, but also trying to avoid a lot of their pain as well. They didn't kind of get to process it. And I was always very aware of the heaviness. I'm very perceptive of how people feel. So I see kind of this version of people that they present, the layers that we put on and the hats we put on to show people, because we think, well, that's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
So we show, you know, the most accepted, or what we've learned has been the most accepted part of ourselves. But I also see all the stuff that we hide. I sense it. And I want to bring that out for people, for them to know that it's okay to merge the both. But as a child, I was sensing all that, but I couldn't put into words. I had nobody to teach me.
Yeah.
So I just kind of felt all this heaviness. But I would get the moments of joy through music or through being creative. I was very much my brother was older than me. So there would be times when I was very kind of isolated, because my parents didn't really play. My dad worked shifts and my mum had depression. So I spent a lot of time physically on my own, but I always kind of had spirit around me. But I didn't know that's what was happening at the time. It was just, you know, I had imaginary friends and I was in role play, and that kind of sustained me. So music, doing artwork, getting lost in films and in songs, and yeah, just creative play and talking with spirit kind of guided me, really. And it continued. I got interested in crystals when I was a teenager, and then started doing readings for people when I was quite, you know, in my teens and in my early 20s. And it just kind of has always been something I was curious about. And so I started doing different activities and researching things around spirituality, and it's kind of always been second nature. And I thought it was a hobby, but it wasn't. It's me, it's who I am. And it took me maybe till I was in my 30s to actually make that connection that I can't not do this. It's me. And I went through a phase of trying to kind of shut parts of myself down, because again, it was about, well, people aren't accepting that, so I'll just not do it. It's causing too many problems. And, you know, thinking that I was causing problems by having that interest. And again, it came full circle back to, well, I'm causing problems by being me. So how do I not do that? How do I stop doing that? How do I stop being so emotional? And I then went into looking at mental health and doing different courses with CBT and different practices to understand breath work, to try and become this balanced, positive person all the time, which just, it's not possible, because that's not how we're designed to be.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And I wanted to understand my parents more and understand the impact that it had on me, because I would have these phases of being really angry and starting to grieve is what I eventually realized I was doing. I was grieving the childhood that I didn't have, that I needed. I was grieving the relationship with my parents that I didn't have, that I needed.
Yeah.
Grieving the parts for me that I'd shut down. And all of this kind of unfolded from learning to listen to my body, which I eventually joined a spiritual healing circle after having bouts of depression and going down the kind of the medical route and not really getting to the root of it, and having different phases of dipping, not being able to pull myself out of it. So I joined the spiritual healing circle, and then made different friendships, and that evolved into different things where I kind of got mentors really to help me understand what was happening in my body and in myself. And then I began to explore it more discovering that, you know, a lot of it was coming from thoughts and beliefs I had around myself. And also learning which beliefs were coming from my parents, you know, what I'd taken on about the views they had about being a confident person. And that, you know, that wasn't okay in my mum's book, that there was no kind of difference between being self-confident and being arrogant. So I learned to keep myself very small so that I didn't upset my mum.
Yeah.
Whereas now even now I'm in the process of unpicking that, because to live the life that I want to live and need to live, and to have the community and connections with people that is needed, I can't hide myself. It's counterproductive. So but you know, you kind of start to be aware of the thoughts and the shrinking in of yourself, and hearing that inner critic that's your mum's voice. So it's moving into that self-acceptance again is so important, because when you don't get it from your mum, it's kind of this, you're in this wilderness for a while, you know, the desert and the tumbleweeds blowing by, because you're like, well, what do I do here? I'm needing something externally that I'm not getting. And then you shift into, well, then I don't need that. So if I've never had it, and yet I've got to this point in my life, oh, well, I must have done that. Oh, wow. That's what I'm capable of then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, so I can sustain me. So if I put those things to one side, and I don't get on board with those thoughts, and I stay more present and recognize when those thoughts and beliefs are coming in, and I recognize that I've been the one that's met my needs.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I get better at that? So how do I increase that? And you build up more trust in yourself. And then I can then share that with other people, the process of it, and the things that you need to move through and let go of. And it's the ripple effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, wonderful. And I love that it's almost like you've become the butterfly. You've gone through the whole transformation, and you know you're ready to fly now. And like you said, it's took you a long time to get to that, but that's part of our life journeys, isn't it? Anyway, that we have to go through the challenges, the storms, our own inner storms, the thoughts, the self-critique. We have to go through that to get to where we're at that self-belief place. And when I think about the training that I did, the qualification in counselling, the first one, it was through Rogers. Now I cannot remember his first name, which is Carl Rogers. There we go. And you'll be able to relate to this as well, of course. And what came to my mind when you were talking then was the self-actualization. And actually, when you're training, because obviously you believe everything you're told, don't you? Because you've got to get it right. You're not allowed to make any mistakes. Okay, let's reframe that completely. Self-actualization isn't here where there's no, it's the toppest you'll ever get to. There's always more. There's always more, because you want to keep growing, don't you? You want to keep evolving. You don't want to stay stuck, as in what I took, the way I interpreted it through my qualification was that was the top. And since then, since I'm now my own counsellor, as in not my own counsellor, I'm Sam the counsellor now, and I believe so much more. And I know that self-actualization is when you feel so good about yourself, when you know you've made that success, whether it's money, self-beliefs, the inner stuff, the deep inner stuff. When you've done that work, then you can say, yes, I'm at this spot, can't you? But no, there's always room for more growth.
Yeah. It's, you go back through it, you become the butterfly and you fly, then you go back in the cocoon because it starts again. And I think that is it. And that's when I started going down the spiritual path. It's like I had this belief for such a long time that you get to this Buddha-like moment and everything suddenly makes sense. You're in all the time, and then you just stay there and you'll never feel bad again. And it's not how it works.
No.
Yeah, you get to the top of that Maslow's pyramid.
Absolutely.
But then you go back because there's another layer and there's another layer, and humanity is shifting. We're seeing that taking place at the moment.
Yeah.
With everything, in the news, and there's all that heaviness, but there's so much more because people are connecting because of that.
Yeah.
Everybody's going through their layers and we're going into our cocoons, but we're not doing that singular. We're doing it together. We're becoming butterflies together.
Yeah. Like colonies kind of thing. I know that's an insect, but
yeah. No, it does. It makes absolute sense. We're all, when I go to like tropical places with my daughter and you see the food, they flock to it. They don't fight each other off to get to the food. They know there's enough for everyone and they dance together. Yeah, there's enough room in those spaces for them to have enough airspace to fly. They don't crash into each other. It is a dance. It is a connection. You're right. It is colonies. We working together when we come together and understand that those layers that we move through together, we can help each other discard our old coats.
Yeah.
To put on our Technicolor dream coats.
Yes.
This morning, aren't we?
Well, yeah, I mean, we could do the whole episode through musicals, Rachel. We're both well into them in loads of different ways. We could just see how many musicals we can get in there.
How many musicals, how many colours? It's the kaleidoscope. There's another one. I forget which musical that's from, but I know it's a song in some.
Or just the songs, even if it's not the full musical. But yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting when you've been talking then, because obviously I'm hearing what you're saying and I'm like thinking myself, but if you notice the little tightness of throat popped up then, and I'm really aware now because this is my own self-acceptance, that when things feel a little bit comfortable, just the niggly bit, and this is really important, isn't it, to share with like who might be listening or watching today as well, that when we feel uncomfortable about things, and it's almost kind of like a level of anxiety, but we can stop it getting further if we're really aware of it. And it is about being aware of like your body, how your body works. Let's just put our mind to one side for now, because that's the one that's wonderful and amazing, but also that's where the self-critique comes from as well. But if you kind of recognize what goes on, and I now know from doing a lot of work and going through a lot of tears, and a lot of tears, and Rachel can vouch for this as well, which we will come on to soon, that when my throat hurts here, tightness, this is me, anxiety, but what it's meaning for me is that I've got something to say. And it's took me back to a place where I didn't have that voice. So yeah, just a little tip for people, and if you feel that way, take some deep breaths. Just take those deep breaths and just focus on where you are right now. And if you need some water as well, that's okay. But yeah, just it's that self-awareness for yourself.
Yeah. And I'm finding as well at the moment, the things that I haven't been able to say to other people, it's a piece of work I've been doing for a long time, that I write it in a journal, or I write it in a piece of paper and then burn it, or I pretend that person is sat there. But I'm also now, I love sending voice notes. And it's come a really big full circle, because I used to be safe behind a screen. I would message, send really long messages, and I didn't like talking to people. I'm still not, I'm getting there with phone conversations, but voice notes, I think I'm able to process my thoughts, but also my emotions. But I'm learning now to just talk to myself on a voice note and then play it back. Or as I'm talking to myself, because I'm in the mindset of I'm talking to someone else, something will come out and it's like, oh. And I've done it for a really long time, because I talk out loud when I'm talking to spirit, or I'll talk to angels, and then I kind of get a recognition of something, or I'll hear a song, or a truck will go past and there'll be something inside it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense for that. So now it's kind of gone to another level again of, it is so important when you've had that background of your voice wasn't heard. And I can completely relate to that. I get a tightness in my voice as well, or I get it in my stomach.
Yeah.
When I want to say something, it's like there'll be an anxiety. But for me, a big thing was understanding, which I've learned through people that do hypnosis, that the body doesn't know the difference between fear and excitement. It registers it in the same way.
Yeah.
So whether it's in your stomach, in your heart, or in your throat, if you get that anxiety feeling, it's actually, like you said, it's even more important to us to say it, or to do the action.
Yeah.
Or to get that dream embedded, because if the fear's showing up because we want it so bad, but we can tend to think, oh, I can't say that because there's this block in my throat, so it's not allowing me to say it. So yeah, the breathing can help, getting a drink of water can help, giving yourself a moment to actually process and understand what's going on. But maybe go and say it to yourself first, or to someone else that will hear you, and say, yeah, that's okay, that's perfectly acceptable. Or even like last week, I was feeling quite angry about some things, and I had to kind of say out loud, this is okay for me. This is right. I need to feel this, and I'm allowed to feel this, and I'm justified to be angry about this. So yeah. I kind of had to move through the anger first, for me to be able to speak it to the person I needed to say it to, and to get to the tears, because a lot of times with anger there can be fears or tears behind it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to acknowledge that anger to get the block out, and then it frees you up to have that space to say, okay, this is what's been in me that I need to set free, to birth.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wonderful. It reiterates, doesn't it, the work that you do, how you support people, but also I think when we're service users, when I say service users, we're passionate business owners. We want to make a difference in the world, whatever that difference is. But then it's so easy to become a people pleaser, isn't it, as well, to do that. But when you step back and go, I can do both. I can help people, but I can also look at myself. And I don't know about you, Rachel, but a lot of the times now when I'm working with clients, because I've got to that level now where I do believe what I'm doing helps, I've got the evidence to back it up in so many ways, but also my own beliefs as well about myself, that I've forgotten what I was going to say now. See, there, it's just wandered off as that little thought. It's just gone. It'll flutter back down in however long. I'll be like, ooh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, just that I'll just make it shorter because I cannot remember. That obviously, you know, it's important to focus on yourself first before you want to help others. So yeah, I now remember. So when I'm working with a young person or a child, the way that I've changed how I work now, it's reflective, but not overthinking reflective most of the times. You know, sometimes I'm human. But it's also about, oh yeah, look at what you're doing, how you're talking to this person, what you're saying to them, how you're empowering them and supporting them. Hello, Sam, just go home and just have a little look in that mirror today, because you're not feeling it for yourself. And if you do that, then you will remember that what you're doing is for you as well. And I think that's what I love about passion-led businesses, being a counsellor. And you can relate very well, as because you're a therapist as well yourself, aren't you, Rachel?
Yeah, it's again, it's about that connection and community, because we do the work in ourselves, and then we have the deeper trust in ourselves. We have we're fully investing in the unconditional love for ourselves, and the more belief we have and love we have for us, the more we have, to others see that, and then they see the potential for themselves. And we learn from the people that we work with. And yeah, I have those moments as well of going, hang on, I'm saying that to them and I'm not doing it for me. I need to do this. And the people come at the time when it's kind of like we need that reminder of going, oh, okay, come on. And it's like that gentle nudge.
It's that little reminder, isn't it? Like, yeah, listening.
Yeah. And I used to work with kids as well. I used to be a support worker for kids with autism and different disabilities, and I learned so much, from the love that they have, no matter what's going on for them. And I would get, again, the teaching on the training of, well, they're not. This is going back quite a while now. Kids with autism aren't, and they don't know how to empathise. And it's such crap. So it was so. Like I say, this is 20 years ago, so it's different now. There's different viewpoints, and but I took that on. I took that on as gospel, because, like you say, you absorb it. You're like, okay, so they won't know that. And I started, coming across these kids. I'm like, no, they know how I'm feeling. They know how they're feeling. They know they're feeling rubbish and they want comfort, but they're also able to give me that comfort.
Yeah.
As well, they can sense it, and it's you would have these beautiful moments, and it's like getting into their world on their where their energy is taught me so much about finding that for myself, but seeing again, the barriers that we put up get in the way. We do it for safety, but it doesn't keep us. It's a coping mechanism that works for a while. I wonder why I'm coughing.
Your turn.
Yeah.
I think spirits are talking to both of us this morning.
Yes. They get in the way because we need to allow that vulnerability. And actually what we present to people doesn't allow us to make the connections that we're looking for. The whole time we're keeping us safe and we're seeking that depth, it's hard for people to find the connection, because we're not showing our true selves. We're showing this bit, but the people we need to connect with aren't going to see that. They're going to see this bit, and that's kind of repelling in a way, unless they're able to see beyond that, or we're able to drop the wall when we see something in them, or we kind of get those moments of clarity, and when we're able to stay present and step into that vulnerability. And I had a moment of this yesterday, and it was a real and I didn't see it coming. I got really emotional and I cried in front of someone, and I didn't know it was going to happen. And then it was like, oh, okay, well, I've done that now. There's no putting that back in a box. But it needed to happen.
Yeah.
Because I'd been keeping a wall there.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, okay, well, I've done it. Nothing bad happened. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I was safe. I was fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, now I'm so glad it's happened. And this, I've still kind of been aware of this morning of like, ooh, but it is okay. It really is okay. And but we don't know that until we allow it to happen. And it's like you can talk yourself through it to a point of saying, I'll be okay. And you can know that, but you know it even more so when it actually happens.
Yeah.
But we have to step into the vulnerability and allow those connections and allow that learning in ourselves for it to take place, to kind of go, okay, I've really got to put that bit down.
Yeah, definitely so. And I guess in some ways this is what I've learned, working with a coach, being more in the spiritual world and things that about the energy, and what energy we put out there is what energy we're like asking for back. And if I go back to when I first met you, do you remember then when I first met you? Was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I think it was what were we in 22? I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, I remember first, and my energy that whole weekend was just off the scale, but not the bounciness, just the feelings. There were overwhelmed feelings. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know what to think. Didn't know what I was doing there. If I briefly explain, so I went on a retreat. I was invited to go on a weekend retreat. Nina Rainey, it was her first one. She was running. She'd organised it and everything. Then we had lockdown, so everything was just on hold. So this was her first one. So there was so much energy there. There was a beautiful group of women. We were all getting like massages and treatments and things like that. And I was invited. And it wasn't just the first moment that I got there. It was the whole weekend. I think I cried 99% of the time. But what I took away from it was so much. I mean, I'd need an episode on my own, literally, to talk about it. Maybe that's something I do at some point. I was just
going to say, yeah.
Maybe that's something I do at some point. Yeah. Anyway, I met the beautiful Rachel, who was a different person to who she is now. And when I say different, I don't mean that she looked different, that she'd got a disguise on or anything like that, although that's quite interesting, isn't it? The masking. So I'm going to let Rachel share who she was then, but how I connected with you as well was because of my energy and your energy as well, I feel.
Yeah I think that's a really accurate description of wearing a disguise, not
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Shadow aspects. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Oh, goosebumps.
Yeah, I was, because that. Oh God, there's so much. Yeah, this could be another episode entirely on the things from
maybe it's something that we come back to at a later time and just discuss that, chat about that other side of maybe you, if you feel comfortable doing that. But are you okay just to share a little bit brief, because otherwise my side of it does not make any sense.
Yeah, I think I would only show
so you was doing something completely different to what you do now, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was asked to deliver yoga, and I'd done that for a long time. I am still doing it, not as much as I used to. And now it's more about kind of, again, getting in tune with the body and the somatic aspects. But I was very much kind of putting on a front and showing what I thought people wanted to see. And I was keeping myself very closed off. So I would kind of, I would show up, I would open a doorway, I would take a piece of myself out, present that, and there, you know, there would be a smile and certain movements. When I would go into the yoga, I would relax and I would be present and everything would flow. But I would only give so much of myself in that moment. And then as soon as that bit was done, it'd be like, back in, put that bit away, put the other version, you know, the other mask on.
Yeah.
I would open my heart to a point, and then it'd be like, nope, done now. You've had that piece of me, that's all you're getting. Because that's what I'd learned. That's what I'd learned as a child, and that's what I'd carried through as, you know, percentage of my adult life, because of the people that I was around, the people that I was drawing in, and all these beliefs were telling me that it wasn't safe to show the full aspect of me. It wasn't safe to fully love because of what I'd learned previously. Yeah. So I would only allow certain people into a point, and I don't think really I was interested in kind of making new connections.
No, you didn't really. You was there for the yoga, and then you went, and then you came back the following day. So you was literally there for the yoga. And I mean, obviously I was in my own head and world that weekend, and I got it from loads of different people, but I still feel that I connected to you maybe differently to others because of just what was the overwhelm, and not understanding then that I work with energy. Even though I'd not gone in a working level as a counsellor, you still connect. So I feel maybe I sent over a tiny heart to you at some point, just to kind of, I'm here, I'm holding you, but not knowing myself that I was doing that because of, as I said, I was in my own head, just trying to deal with things, just deal with, what am I doing here? What is this? Like when you go back to the talking safe, I were safe. I had the most fantastic weekend ever. And the biggest takeaway is that even though I'd had therapy for years, a lot of talking therapy and things.
Yes.
That was the start of my therapy. That was when I opened, that was when I allowed that wall to go down a bit more. That was when I opened that door to connect with people, because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know the right way of doing it. And I feel that there was some connection there. As I say, it feels a lot longer than just this, what we've got now. But it was almost, there was so much beautiful energy there. There was so much support and everything there. It said to me that you are safe. And I went back 3-4 times. So, and everyone was different. And I had these emotions where I just couldn't deal with stuff. So, yeah, but I learn every time, like we learn every time. You grow every time, don't you, a little bit more. But when I met you after that, at a training one morning, a workshop, and I think what I said to you was very much about, oh, I remember you from the yoga and things. You went, because for you, that what I felt like it was a hurt. You'd been hurt by me saying that because of how how people had seen you. It's almost like mine's my title, children's counsellor. Yours was yoga lady.
Yeah.
And I sensed for you that was a really, no thanks, don't want that anymore. But you were trying to process it yourself as well, wasn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I have had kind of I think I got angry with myself because I went down a direction that I thought other people wanted, and it went very much into just exercise, and not heart-centered, not the full connection of there were pieces missing.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's the top and bottom of it. There were pieces missing, and I was angry with myself that I'd shut those down, but I couldn't see that then.
No.
So I was kind of rebelling against something that I'd built and I created, and you know, for a long time I'd wanted that. I wanted to be that person, and I thought that was my dream, which it was, because it's evolved to where I am now and who I am now and what I'm creating now. So there's going to need to be a reflection and acceptance of that phase.
Yeah.
Cough, cough. But yeah, I think it's about having forgiveness for, we become who we need to be.
Definitely.
But that's never wrong.
No.
You know, I've gained so much confidence in being able to do that aspect of my business and the opportunities that it gave me, such as, you know, doing Nina's retreats and meeting people like you, and now getting to do this. And this again, this has been a dream for a long time that I've had. So I'm very grateful to you and for our connection.
So welcome. You are so welcome.
Yeah, it's the learning that we get from each phase of our life, each experience, and each layer of persona that we build and then take that down again. It's not a mistake. How can it be? Because of what you learn along the way. And it ultimately still brings you back to where you need to be, and then to an even deeper layer of who we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Honestly, Rachel, I could talk to you all day. I feel in some ways we're similar, but obviously very different as well. And it's that reassurance and that comfort as well, isn't it? That you kind of fit in a little bit, but then it's okay to be different as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much. So we've come to that time where you have 3 tips. I have to say it like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I think continuing with the theme of listening to our body. Our body knows, our heart knows, our intuition knows. So really taking that time to listen in to what's happening right now, what do I need right now, which flows into the second tip is following that through. Is once you've listened to yourself, then do the thing, whether it's something that brings you joy, and that will be very individual. We all find our joys in different ways. So it might be doing an activity, it might just be sitting with someone that you love, it might be being on your own, or that moment might be that you need to sit and cry, you need to sit and shout. So whatever comes up in that moment is giving yourself the space for you to do what you need to do for you. The third tip, probably being true to ourselves. So I think when I thought about this before we did this session, I had 2 of those, and then the third one was different. But having had this conversation today, I think it's really being true to ourselves and our journey and who we really are and what we want and what we need. I think a lot of it seems to have evolved around speaking our truth, and being our true selves, and knowing that's okay.
Yes, beautiful. Absolutely love them. So where can people find you? And can I just ask if you'd like to share who you work with as well, please?
So ways to find me, I am on Instagram, Reconnect with Rachel. I'm on Facebook, which is it's Rachel Hickson Wellbeing, because every time I go to change it to Reconnect with Rachel, it's not letting me do the password. So it's Rachel Hickson Wellbeing. I also have a CIC called Inspire to Empower, which we deliver in the community ways of understanding our thoughts, our feelings, again, reconnecting with ourselves, and that's with Natalie Diamond. And I'm going to be doing a retreat next year, which I'm very, very excited about, which we are developing with Diana Tyson and Dan Ockenden. So it's very, very exciting, because that's going to be all about, again, the connection and understanding ourselves and feminine energy and all sorts of exciting stuff, which I'm going to keep an eye out for as that's getting put out there. We're building it, and yeah.
I can tell that you're excited about it.
Yes.
So where people can find you, and everywhere that you've just mentioned, and your 3 tips will be added to the notes as well, so people can find Rachel if they want to. I would definitely recommend. She's got such a beautiful energy, and I think that's why it's easy to talk, particularly on here. And what Rachel didn't mention is this her first podcast as well. So for Rachel, it's huge, and I just want to give you a huge well done, because it's just been so lovely to speak to you today. So thank you for joining me. I've loved it.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
You are so welcome.
Yeah, we could talk all day.
I feel
so
that there's a part 2 from this. Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah.
Thank you everybody for listening or watching today. It's just been a wonderful conversation with Rachel. She is just such a beautiful soul. You will be able to find me again on another episode coming soon. That is it for today. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye.